alcohol content. That was, just hyping everybody up. You guys ready?
Hype man.
One man.
Let's go. Come on. We got alcohol content. All right. Today we got something cool. The unicorn bottle gods have shined down upon us. Possibly. We'll find out. There's a little bit of maybes going on there. But before we get all into that, who are we drinking with? We're drinking with Ryan.
That's me.
We're drinking with Rick.
Yes, sir.
And you are drinking with Austin. That's me. All right, boys. Take it away. What are we drinking?
We got some we love Old Forester, and
yeah.
we've got the Old Forester newest line in the Rose Series 1924.
Ooh, it's got that purple little
Oh,
Jealous,
yes,
baby.
yes. Yeah, so what sets this one apart, besides it being the newest, is it's age stated. And Old Forester doesn't do much age stated stuff, so this is 10 years. It is 100 proof. And so it's very interesting in that they deviate from the standard Old Forester mash bill. This particular mash bill is 79% corn, 11% rye, 10% malted barley, whereas their standard is 72-18. So actually, their standard is a higher rye. But what is interesting about this mash bill is it is the same mash bill as Good Times.
Early times,
yes.
Good times.
Many good times had with early
exactly.
times, yes, early times.
Easily mistakable.
Yes, moving on up. It's like, so anyway, this is hard to get at this moment in time. Secondary market, $300, $350.
Woo!
We had a hook up, a person that knows us, gave us a text, and they had gotten a few in and
handed us a text.
Yeah.
Handed us a text.
A letter, you might say.
Yeah.
Had their cell phone on a clipboard, showed us their text or whatever. Anyway, we were able to, they had it locked up and we were able to secure this. MSRP for this is $115. We paid $120. So I'm going to still say that's,
Pretty close.
MSRP. Exactly.
Not $350. Good Lord.
Exactly.
Look at us move, using our weight, throwing our weight around like, hey, we have a podcast.
Yeah.
You should lock up your whiskey.
So early on, this was released in January, and so it's still new and not in many places. And because it was just released, it's still relatively hard to get, of course, depending on where you are. So we'll see what happens with the distribution and how often.
Yeah, hopefully this becomes a mainstay, I guess, because more normal bottles from Old Forester are always welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is the debated issue. Since this is part of the series row, the thought is that it'll ultimately become a mainstay.
Yeah.
But the last one to come out in the series row was 1910, and when it first came out, it also was hard to get, so it was on the secondary market for quite a while for a fairly large inflated price.
Yeah.
And now you can pick up 1910
Pretty much anywhere.
pretty much anywhere for $60 about.
Well, we have had this earlier. We wanted to make sure to get a podcast on it, but we couldn't help ourselves. We had to try it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was
did some damage to this.
Yeah, someone did some damage. I don't know. I only had a little sip. Yeah.
I just wanted to see what would happen over the course of a week. Just a little.
I wanted us to having a few glasses of whiskey.
A little bit for like 5 days in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my attitude has shifted and changed on that over that 5 days.
Well, I had it, and my palate was whacked out when I had it, and I was like, I did not understand what you guys were getting from it because I was not a fan. Right now, I'm a little warmed up. Had a couple of whiskeys. Now my palate is all tuned. On the nose, this thing is wild.
Mm-hmm.
I am much more in the boat of our your first impression. So, I'm excited for this bottle.
Yeah.
Oh man,
the nose is, I think, incredible.
There's a lot
going on there.
It just grain forward. I don't know how else to describe it. It's like grain that's been roasted and is now like, a little caramelized and just sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah. The barley comes through.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm getting fruit.
Oh man. It's almost like I would want this to be a perfume for, just, yeah, the ladies would love this. Mm-hmm. I mean, the lady would love this. My wife.
There you
would
go.
Love this.
My wife. Yeah.
I think the nose is I mean, there's some caramel going on. There is a little funk. I mean that in a good way. There, to me, there's dark fruit.
The grain is the note that I'm talking about. The grain is the funkiness.
Yeah.
It's mixing with pecans, like roasted pecans really well, a pecan pie.
Little praline. Yeah.
Oh man. This is a wild smell. This is unique.
Yes.
Yeah, the nose for sure.
Yeah.
It's also, to me, it seems uniquely also very Old Forester.
Yeah.
Like they have consistency across their whole row of stuff, and this falls into that category where it's like you smell it and it's like that smells like Old Forester.
Yeah. I could sit here and smell this all night. Wow.
Yeah, and if I didn't mention it, and I think I did, we are huge.
4 hours later.
Yeah, exactly.
We are Old Forester fans for sure. I mean,
it's hard not to be once you try their stuff.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I forever put other whiskeys up against their 1920.
Oh, yeah.
1920, 1910, the regular 100 proof bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'd stack up, almost everything fails when you stack it up to Old Forester.
Yeah, I'm getting some nice dark cherry notes coming in now.
Yep.
Like, which, of course, this Old Forester cherry is going to be a note.
Yeah, but to me, I get it almost turns more into like a blackberry.
Yeah, they're for sure. I'm getting cherry / blackberry.
Yeah, it's not as like a bright cherry, which you said black cherry, but to me, it goes even further than that, which is different for their stuff.
For me, yes, it's the blackberry note, the fruity notes that type of fruit that normally I'm not getting on Old Forester.
And folks, we're still on the nose here.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
this is crazy.
Blackberries.
Simmer down.
I'm going to write an essay about this. I'm going to get a PhD on this nose here.
Have a thesis.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Whoa. All right. I was definitely wrong when I first tasted this.
We know.
Wow. This is almost like a gummy. Help me out here. Fruit gummies. Like, what are the little
gummy bears?
Fruit snacks.
Fruit snacks.
Oh,
it's like roll-ups or
no, like the little gummies.
Oh, got it.
Like you buy like a Welch's fruit snacks. This is a cherry Welch's fruit snacks. That's the sweetness I'm getting, which is a positive note, folks. I am a big fan of fruit snacks. Okay, I actually can't buy them anymore because it's a problem.
I don't think I've had Welch's fruit snacks since grade school.
Yeah, I'm an adult. Don't worry, everything's fine. I eat fruit snacks and I'm an adult.
No, I mean I feel like in the realm of bourbon, this is so rare that especially from our perspective, since we've tried so many bottles, it's very rare to find one that is just so unique, different, and well put together and good. Like sometimes you get random stuff that's very different, but it's not necessarily good. It's just weird. And this is all of it. It's well put together, fully integrated, balanced, and different. Ugh.
And they chose right with purple.
I agree. They knew what they were doing. Yeah.
I love it when a bottle nails the color of the flavor palette. Yeah.
So again, I've had a little more experience with this because I wish I was lying, but I'm not. For about 4 or 5 days in a row, I would come home and just pour a little bit, and each time I just roll it around, and I've arrived in it. Seriously, in that continuation, I am drinking a creme brulee that you've got it crusted on top with fresh blackberries on top. Now that creme brulee isn't in one of those white porcelain cups. It happens to be on an oak board.
Yeah.
See, to me, it's not fresh blackberries. It's like stewed blackberries, like cooked down.
Yeah, sure, okay. A compote type thing.
Yeah, with like a little sugar on it.
Yeah.
Like caramelized.
So by creme brulee, there's some caramel, there's some vanilla, there's all that, but that dark fruit note still remains on the taste, for me anyway.
This is really good. Now I gotta ask. I know what the answer is, but for the audience out there, what is the price of this bad boy?
Oh, you said 120.
It's MSRP is 115 to 120, and we we paid
We paid
120 or 123 or something for it. So truly that is sort of the, do you evaluate the whiskey just on what you're drinking, or do you then place it into, I mean, this is, if you can find it, double the price of 1920.
Which, I mean, that's
Or
what we do
1920.
here, right? On this podcast, it is trying to put it in context of
Value.
where does it fall for value? Where does it compare with other things? Stuff like that. So,
I mean, it's so good.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to spend $120 on this.
That's totally fair. And
I will spend 120. That's the thing. This is good for bourbon. But if you're into a bunch of different types of alcohol, if I'm in that range, I'm in really great Scotch range.
true.
And yes, this is fantastic bourbon. But man, $120 for something that does still taste like bourbon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm stingy. I hate,
We know.
I hate spending money. And when any bottle is over $100, I'm immediately like, is it really worth $100+? Because there's so many good things under that. I think this might be one of the very few bourbons that I would say is worth that price tag. Now, like I like this better than the 1920.
For sure. I mean, it is
now,
I think objectively a better bottle than
is it
1920.
Double as good?
Yeah.
I don't know. But you're not going to find anything else like this. So to me, it's not worth like stocking a bunch of bottles of this because that is expensive. But if you really like bourbon or want to give a really good gift and can find it, or if it becomes more available, this is one. This is a good one.
Yes, and I also am frugal, and at first I would, so in the context of Old Forester's so good, and they have so many products $65 and below that are like just bangers. So in that sense, it's like why would you spend $120? So in that context, I understand what people are going, yeah, it's good, but no thanks type deal. But then in the context of it's 10 years old, the rough estimation of, $10 for each year. So that puts it at roughly $100, $100. So now we're close to the price of what it actually is in that context. So then it's like, now I'm back on buying. I'll put it this way. I purchased this. I am not sorry I purchased it. And I am enjoying it so much that if another one came available at MSRP, I would purchase it. Now, I don't think I'd line up 20 of them, but I think I'd get a backup bottle to this one.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good. For me, bourbon is so hard.
And I typically agree with you. Once you hit that $100 mark, it's like, just go Scotch.
So you're putting it in a different context. Like now we're over 100, so now we can, that opens it up to all kinds of stuff.
Maybe it versus other bourbons in that price range, this probably blows most of them out of the water.
I would argue probably as well.
Something like this, which is much more refined than a barrel, what are they called? The people who own Stellum. Or
Barrel.
So or do you want to go to something that's wild like Barrel and spend $120 on something that's like this isn't even that great?
We dumped this in a flute.
Yeah, an apricot. We dumped apricots in it, and then we put it in a toilet and we mashed it around, and then we just distilled that, and then we put some rye in there, and there you go.
We had a renowned flautist play into the barrels.
Because I mean. When you think of bourbon, it's Barrel that is as expensive as this. I mean, obviously there's some other ones, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
The first thing that came to my mind was Michter's.
Oh,
and there is not a chance in hell that any single bottle of Michter's is better than this.
No, but as long as we're sitting here throwing stuff out, let me run counter to this then. 10 years? Eagle Rare, if you can find it in your area for $35 or $40. Eagle Rare.
Most people.
I'm not saying Eagle Rare is better. I'm just throwing out 10 years. Russell 10 year. I'm not the biggest fan of Russell 10 year. I like Wild Turkey products, but exactly. Russell 10 year. Knob Creek 12. That's a banger for $65 or $70. I'm just,
and it's better than every single one of those.
I'm just throwing out, the 10-year-ish type range. Henry McKenna, debatable about the quality now, and if you can find it
batch.
for MSRP of $60 or $70 what it is now, but that's still less than $120. So I don't know. It sort of depends on what your personal budget is, what your personal taste is.
And if you like it, and obviously we're enjoying it, and Rick bought it, and we're all enjoying it. So thank you, Rick, for bringing this bottle, because this is fantastic. I'm glad that I tried it a second time. And also, by the way, we had it with a cigar afterwards, after trying it. And this bottle against a cigar is absolutely amazing. I can't deny that this is an amazing bourbon to go with a cigar.
Rocky Patel cigars.
Oh, yeah. That blew me away. That was after I didn't like it, and I tried it again with the cigar, and it was like, oh, shit. Okay. Yeah. So, folks, this is kind of a unicorn right now. Maybe there's going to be more coming in later. But I think this is, if you are a collector / fan of just, and your palate is ready for something like this, go for it. Why not? I may not buy it. They're definitely giving it their thumbs up. It's really up to you. So we're not going to tell you what to buy, but we're just going to tell you it tastes freaking good. So you like it because this tastes so good. This bottle deserves the likes. It's amazing. Good job, Old Forester. You comment, because what else are we going to drink? It's up to you and us, because, until you comment, we're not going to do the things you comment. All right. So we need more comments, and then subscribe, because we're bringing the bangers, baby. We're bringing heavy hitters. We got the 1920. We have a full bottle. You're going to see reviews out on YouTube with little teensy little tasters. Yeah. Not on this show, because we don't have any hookups like that. Yeah.
We're just getting them in the wild, baby.
Oh, yeah. In the wild, baby. Although we do convince people to put them in a locked box so no one else takes them. But,
you just got to schmooze the retailers.
Schmoozing.
Yeah. Schmooze the retailers.
All right. That's it, folks.